From the very first moment, you'll come face to face with something that might feel a little unusual. Faloodeh, a traditional, refreshing, and distinctive dessert with a flavor that, for many, is completely unfamiliar. And honestly, that's what makes it interesting. But that's only the beginning. We'll take you into the heart of Tehran's bustling streets, where street food is woven into everyday life. From sizzling shawarma in Dalalabad, shaved fresh from the rotating spit, to street vendors who each bring a corner of the city to life. In this city, food is not just about satisfying hunger. Behind every plate, there's a story waiting to be told. We move through one of the oldest parts of the city, the Grand Bazaar of Tehran, a place with centuries of history and thousands of untold stories. And this journey doesn't end in Tehran. In northern Iran, we arrive in a city where food is more than just a meal. It's a way of life. Rasht Bazaar, filled with color, sound, and life. A place where fresh ingredients, local dishes, and a truly different atmosphere will completely surprise you. Along the way, we stop at one of the city's oldest ice cream shops with more than 80 years of history, a place where traditional ice cream is still made the same old-fashioned way. And then we step into a different world. The Zurkhaneh, a place where tradition, strength, and culture continue to live side by side. This journey continues from Tajrish Bazaar to traditional bakeries, cafes that each have a story of their own, and dishes you may have never even heard of. This is not just a video, it's a journey into the heart of Iran's flavors, people, and stories. So, we just made it down to Dalalabad. It's this incredibly lively neighborhood right in South Tehran. The locals actually call it Little Iraq. And walking down this street, I mean, you can literally smell the authentic Arab spices in the air. You're not going to find any fancy sit-down restaurants here. It's just pure, incredible street food. We're talking perfectly crispy kibbeh, golden samosas, and just look at the size of those shawarmas. The energy here is just loud. It's vibrant. The people are so real. Honestly, you know, the food kind of speaks for itself. Let's just walk around and take a look.
چهار تا عربی گوش یکی دستمون کجا
So, welcome to the Tehran Grand Bazaar. This place goes way back centuries, actually. But it's not just a market. I mean, it's a living, breathing world. It's history colliding with everyday life. And if you wander down these winding alleys, you stumble upon these incredibly real stories. Like this woman right here. She's just frying up fresh, homemade samosas on a little portable stove. The thing is, she wasn't always doing this. Years ago, she actually owned a clothing boutique. But you know, life takes hard turns. She started out cooking in a small park, and just through pure patience and a lot of hard work, she earned her spot right here. Now, the shopkeepers next door are totally happy to give her this space to run her business.
یه دونه
این میتونیش بگیرید
برای شما.
As you walk a bit further in, the air kind of shifts. It suddenly smells exactly like a traditional Iranian kitchen. Over there, another woman is making saj kebab on this hot metal plate. It's a recipe that actually has its roots in the west of Iran. You know, the food scene down here has really evolved. It used to be mostly just quick fast food, but now it's completely transformed. Everyday women are bringing their own authentic regional recipes right out onto the streets. The bazaar has kind of turned into this mini map of Iran's entire culinary culture. I mean, from sizzling Shami kebabs to the amazing smell of Kuku Sabzi, this place is so much more than just buying and selling. It's where you see the resilience of everyday people. You see how they pivot in life. And you get to experience the true, authentic taste of Iran.
sos بزنم برای کتلت سس بزنم برای شما
You know, hidden away in these old Tehran alleys, there's this little family-run shop. It's actually been sitting right here for over 80 years. This neighborhood is one of those rare spots in the city that still feels completely untouched. Time just kind of slows down here. It's pure nostalgia. The shop was started decades ago by a man named Haj Safar, and today his family is still running it, keeping that exact same legacy alive. And you know, it is incredibly popular around here. Honestly, just watching them go through the process of making the ice cream, it's kind of mesmerizing. It all starts pretty simple. Water, sugar, and this really unique ingredient called salep. If you haven't heard of it before, it's actually what gives the ice cream that perfect, authentic texture. Right after that, they pour in the fresh milk, and they have to whisk it really fast, otherwise the salep just clumps up. And then that's kind of when the magic happens. They add this generous pour of fragrant rose water. I mean, the aroma and the flavor it brings is just incredible. Next up, they pour the whole liquid mixture right into this cooling machine. It basically pulls all the heat straight out of the milk. Inside, the machine just keeps gently paddling the mixture, bringing the temperature down until it's perfectly chilled. Now it's time to grind and brew the saffron, which is really the heart of traditional Persian ice cream. They set it aside to steep for a few hours, and once it's perfectly brewed, they blend it right into the milk mixture. Comes the best part. They pour in this incredibly high-grade saffron, and honestly, the second they do, that amazing aroma just fills the entire shop all over again. Once it's completely cooled and mixed, the liquid goes straight into the churning machine to thicken up. Give it a little time, and that's it. You've got fresh ice cream ready to be packed away into the freezers. They scoop the fresh saffron ice cream right into these molds, and then they mix in these beautiful frozen flakes of crispy cream. And the result? I mean, it's just this incredibly rich, fragrant ice cream that tastes absolutely amazing. But there's something else here you definitely need to see. If you're not from Iran, you've probably never seen anything quite like this. It's called Faloodeh. It's this incredible traditional ice dessert made from these super thin starch noodles. And honestly, making it takes a lot of patience. They carefully press these delicate starch noodles through multiple layers of cloth. Then they mix up the sweet base. Just boiling water, sugar, and rose water. But you can't serve it right away. You actually have to wait a full day. And after that day, it completely transforms. It turns into this icy, sweet, incredibly fragrant Faloodeh syrup that just clings perfectly to those thin noodles. It is, without a doubt, one of the most refreshing things you will ever taste. When you stand here and watch this whole process, you realize they aren't just making a dessert here. They're literally serving history. It's the exact same flavor, passed down generation after generation. By the way, if you want to see the complete step-by-step process of how they make this Faloodeh, you can check out the full video right now over on the Papa Food Show channel. Just listen to that rhythm. You're not just looking at a traditional gym right now. This is a Zurkhaneh, the ancient Persian house of strength. For centuries, men have gathered in these sacred rings, and it's really not just about building physical power. It's about humility, chivalry, and brotherhood. I'm going to leave you here for a moment. Just let the heartbeat of that drum tell you the rest of the story. Further down the road, we step into a place that honestly feels less like a restaurant and much more like a warm home. It's run by this incredibly hardworking couple. For years, the woman of the house cooked in other people's kitchens, but one day, she just decided to write her own story. She rented this small spot, and with pure dedication, she turned it into a beloved local gem. The morning starts really early here. Today, they're making Dizi. It's one of the most authentic and ancient dishes in all of Iran. The meat is bought fresh, right from the local butcher. It goes into these beautiful traditional metal pots, followed by soaked chickpeas, onions, and garlic. Dizi is not a dish you can rush. It really has to slow cook to absolute perfection. While that stew simmers, let's take a quick walk to a traditional bakery. Barbari bread is known as one of the best breads in Iranian food culture. It's also one of the most popular traditional breads in Iran, thanks to its soft texture and really pleasant taste. First, they start by preparing the Barbari dough. Simple ingredients, but handled with real care and attention. And once the dough is ready, they send it straight into an old traditional oven. The kind of oven where bread has been baked the same way for years, maybe even generations. It's a simple flour glaze. It helps give the bread that golden color and better texture in the traditional oven, or as locals call it, the tanner.
بله.
چرا اگه الان بیارم یه دونه نوشته بودید اون نتونستم بخونم.
چی؟ مخلفات؟
خیار گوجه؟ فقط خیار گوجه خیارشور.
خیارشور هم
حال بده آره مرسی.
هرچی سلام میدونی. این خواهی بازه و یه دونه میگی اومد
یه دیگه هم چون امتحان کنیم یه دیگه هم امتحان کنیم
اما یه سوسیس خورما برای جونه از این مشکلی هم بود که دو ساعت هم منش برسم موزیک نرسی کرد همونجوری ما اینجا کارهای پدرشو میکنیم همون نون هم بزن ها دست نزد من به تو چیزی نمیگم یه قاشق سیتی چطور بود؟
As lunchtime rolls around, we're heading up north to the historic Tajrish Bazaar. It's been standing next to the holy shrine of Imamzadeh Salah for well over a century. This market really is the beating heart of northern Tehran. It's this beautiful collision of deep tradition and vibrant modern life. Just look at those colors. And right here, they're making sohan, a traditional sweet absolutely packed with pistachios and saffron. I wish you could smell this right now. The scent is just intoxicating. Hey, if you've made it this far, it probably means you're enjoying the video, and that really means a lot to us. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit the like button, leave us a comment. We genuinely love to hear what you think and share it with someone who might enjoy it too. And if you'd like to support us a bit more, you can use super thanks as well. It truly helps us keep making these videos for you. All right, back at the restaurant, the tables are completely full, and the Dizi is finally ready. But you don't just serve this with any bread. This is songak, Iran's oldest whole wheat flatbread, baked right on top of hot river stones. It's incredibly hearty, and it perfectly balances out that heavy, rich stew. Eating Dizi, it's a whole ritual. First, you pour that rich broth into a bowl, and you soak torn pieces of bread right in it. It makes this incredibly warm, comforting soup. And then the magic happens. The meat, the potatoes, the chickpeas, they all get mashed together into this thick, savory paste, served with a cold yogurt drink, some tangy pickles, and a massive plate of fresh herbs. It's an absolute feast. You won't forget it. Deeper inside the bazaar, away from those endless crowds, we found this hidden sanctuary. It's a tiny cafe, but it is just overflowing with life. This cozy little spot, it's the dream of a young woman. She actually came all the way from Neyshabur. That's the historic birthplace of the great poet Omar Khayyam. She started out with a small cafe back in her hometown, saved up her money, and moved right here to the busiest market in Iran just to build her future. In a lot of the world, giant coffee chains really dominate the streets. But here in Iran, cafe culture is fiercely independent, and it's deeply personal. Every single cafe is shaped by the owner's own hands, their own taste, their own budget, and it gives every place this truly unique, irreplaceable soul. She runs this little haven with her bright young apprentice, and together they really pour love and dedication into every single cup.
هم کن چیری کن
Places like this, they're so much more than just a spot to grab a quick coffee. They're real stories of migration, hard work, and chasing down dreams. This, right here, is the quiet hope that keeps Tehran alive. Just a few steps away, you'll find something unexpected. The smallest tea house in Iran. It's called Haj Ali Darvish, and it's been here for over 100 years. Back then, tea houses weren't just about drinking tea. They were something more. A place where people gathered, shared stories, and brought old legends to life. It's tiny, I mean really tiny. Only a few people can fit in here at once. But somehow, it holds over a century of memories. Just outside the bazaar, we meet a woman who completely redefines what it means to be a street vendor. She's warming up classic homemade dishes, things like Kuku and Shami Kebab. She actually has a small team doing the cooking for her. That way, she can focus on what she loves most, connecting with the people. But her story doesn't start here. She is a woman of many lives. She used to work as a car mechanic. She's a theater actor, a painter. When you ask her if she is happy with this path, her answer is simple. Being out here makes me feel alive. And you can really see it. Customers return not just for the hot food, but for her radiant energy. Right in the middle of this endless rush, one woman has built her own little world, a custom mobile kitchen. She actually started this business for her husband originally, but over time, she took the reins. She even designed this exact cart herself. She works tirelessly from dawn until dusk, but somehow her energy just never fades. Lavash bread is one of the oldest and thinnest breads in Iranian food culture. The dough has to be stretched extremely thin, almost like paper, and baked in just a few seconds before it becomes dry or crispy. I saw a woman in the park taking care of cats. And honestly, it was such a beautiful and unexpected moment for me. She was just there quietly feeding and caring for them like it was the most natural thing in the world. It really stayed with me. And I wanted to share this small but meaningful moment with you too. So, we just made it out to the city of Qazvin. And if there's one thing this place is absolutely famous for, it's the traditional ice cream. Specifically, this incredible 3-color ice cream. It's kind of legendary around here. And they make it in this really specific time-honored way. Honestly, it's something you just have to see for yourself. Come on, let's go take a look. We're back in the bustling heart of the Grand Bazaar. And in a place like this, every single corner really does hold a new story. Right at this busy intersection, behind an incredibly simple setup, you'll find Serena. People around here just know her as the Ash selling girl. But there's a pretty amazing story of resilience behind that simple title. From early morning straight through to the afternoon, Serena anchors this little spot. She serves up hot Adasi. It's this very humble, deeply comforting lentil stew that is just so beloved in Iranian culture. She also serves traditional ash. She preps everything back at home with the help of a friend and basically manages every single part of this small business entirely on her own. For years, Serena actually worked in a completely different world. She was a dental assistant. But, you know, life is unpredictable. Circumstances shifted, and she was forced to make a really brave decision. She chose to build her own path. So why choose the chaotic, loud Grand Bazaar? She says she just knew she could sell better here, and more importantly, she could really connect with the people. Serena is just this beautiful example of someone totally redefining their life. Not with massive resources, just a simple choice and an unbreakable will to start over. Right in the middle of the endless noise of the bazaar, she stands her ground every single day, armed with a hot pot of soup and a completely fresh story for her life. Tonight, we're stepping into one of the liveliest streets in Tehran, Bab Homayun, a place full of street food, music, and real local energy. We'll see what people eat, how they celebrate, and what makes this street come alive at night. So, let's get into it and just experience it together. Now, if you want a true taste of old tradition, you have to look for Ab Dug Kiar. It is an absolute masterpiece of cooling refreshment. It's this beautiful blend of fresh cucumbers, crunchy walnuts, raisins, and delicate dried rose petals, topped off with a heavy pour of cold, traditional dug. It really is the ultimate remedy for a warm Tehran night. As the night gets deeper, especially on Thursdays and Fridays, this street hits its absolute peak. We're stepping back into the quiet nostalgia of Haj Safar's historic shop. But this time, we aren't here for the ice cream. We're here to watch them create another traditional Iranian masterpiece, Masghati. It's this incredibly delicate, translucent dessert made from starch, sugar, rosewater, and saffron. It really carries the deep, sweet heritage of central and southern Iran right inside it. Every truly great recipe starts with precision. You can see the golden threads of saffron being carefully weighed out. But there is a beautiful little secret here. They crush a single sugar cube right along with it. The friction from that sugar actually helps to break down the saffron completely. It's what releases its absolute purest color and aroma. Once it's mixed with hot water, it's just left alone to brew. Thyme is really the essential ingredient here. It's what allows the true soul of the saffron to finally awaken. Now, the whole process moves over to an old copper pot. Copper really is the traditional heart of Iranian cooking. The sugar dissolves and the prepared starch is slowly introduced. As the heat rises, the mixture begins its transformation. It requires this incredibly patient, constant stirring. And here is that magic moment. The brewed saffron returns, just painting the entire dessert in this vibrant, beautiful gold. And finally, the rosewater goes in. It instantly infuses the air with this unmistakable floral signature. The texture completely transforms, becoming thick, smooth, and perfectly elastic.
خدمت. خدا برکت. قربان شده.
Leaving Tehran behind, we head north into a city that feels completely different. This is Rasht, a place known for its rain, its greenery, and its deep connection to food. For years, Rasht has been one of the most important cultural and culinary centers in Iran, a city where recipes are passed down through generations and food is taken seriously. And right at the heart of it all is the Grand Bazaar of Rasht. This isn't just a place to shop. It's where people meet, talk, and live their everyday lives. You can feel the history here, in the architecture, in the rhythm of the streets, and especially in the people. People here are known for being open, social, and incredibly passionate about their food and traditions. So in this video, we're going to step inside this world and experience it together.
پیاز خام و گوجه. آماده است.
Still exploring the vibrant city of Rasht, we step away from the crowds and find something truly unexpected. A tiny, cozy cafe. The atmosphere is incredibly warm, but what makes this place special is the person running it. She is only 17 years old. With a little help from her mother and a small bank loan, she built this cafe from the ground up. She manages everything alone, paying off the loan installments month by month. It is a quiet story of deep independence. And there is another resident here. This cat was found sick and abandoned on the streets. She took him in, brought him to a vet, and nursed him back to health. Now, He is the heart of the cafe. Rasht is a city of layers. From its ancient rain-washed neighborhoods to the nearby shores of the Caspian Sea, every corner has its own mood.
دو تا دبل بدین با دو تا باقلا.
شأن شما.
Leaving the bustling markets behind, we return to the capital, but this time to the quieter, tree-lined streets of northern Tehran. Here, the mood shifts completely, and here we meet a couple who decided to step off the traditional path. Instead of renting a normal apartment, they built a home on wheels. But this camper van is not just where they sleep, it is also a fully functioning mobile cafe. This is van life, adapted to the rhythm of Tehran. A life of movement, freedom, and zero attachment to a single location.
تعریف خور باشی میفهمی این تعریف نسوسه به بوجستی بسیار اینجا برای
Their day truly begins when most of the city goes to sleep. The cafe opens around 12 noon and runs until the early hours of the morning, 3 or 4 a.m. Despite the late hour, the street is alive. Customers come and go, creating an endless buzzing flow of night owls.
ولی هم محیط داره هم آبساده داره.
فقط کله
Amidst the busy night, there are always moments of pause. A simple instrument plays, and suddenly the atmosphere shifts. Everyone stops for just a moment to take it in. This is more than just a cafe. It is more than just a home. It is a conscious choice to live life exactly as it is, perfectly in the flow of the present moment. We are back in the market, and here is a woman selling an absolute Iranian staple. 2 types of kuku. She doesn't cook them right here on the street. These are made beforehand, brought in fresh and ready to eat. But the process behind them is pure Iranian home cooking. Take the kuku sabzi. It starts with a mountain of fresh herbs. Parsley, cilantro, dill, and chives, all chopped incredibly fine. You whisk those greens with eggs, turmeric, salt, and pepper. A lot of cooks add crushed walnuts and tart barberries for a pop of flavor. You pour the whole mixture into a hot, oiled pan, let the bottom get a nice, thick crust, cut it into wedges, and flip them to fry the other side. Then there is the kuku sibzamani, a savory golden potato patty. For this, you grate raw potatoes and an onion. But here is the real secret. You have to squeeze out all the excess liquid by hand. If the mixture is too wet, the patties will just fall apart in the oil. Once the grated potato is squeezed dry, you add the eggs, salt, pepper, and a good pinch of turmeric for color. You shape them into small ovals by hand and fry them until the edges are perfectly crispy and brown. Simple ingredients transformed into something amazing. It is the ultimate homemade comfort food served right here in the middle of the busy bazaar. So, this is one of those small, local spots. Nothing fancy, just a simple place people really trust. And every single day, they're serving something like 1,600 kilos of Adasi. Yeah, that much. It's basically a traditional lentil stew, slow-cooked, simple, and really comforting. I mean, at first glance, it's just a bowl of lentils, something you'd usually make at home, maybe for a quick breakfast or a light dinner. So seeing it done on this kind of scale, it almost doesn't feel real. 7 branches across the city, all focused on just this one dish. But people here, they absolutely love it. It's more than just food, it's a real local favorite.
آموزش چیز است از این کجا آموزش دیدی؟ ما بریم
I really hope you guys enjoyed taking this trip with us. It's been quite a ride, wandering through those ancient bazaars, sharing some amazing street food, meeting all these beautiful, hardworking people, and ending up here in this perfect little escape. If you liked coming along for the ride, definitely drop a like and leave a comment down below. And hey, if you want to help us travel further and keep bringing you guys better and better stories, hitting that super thanks button genuinely means the world to us. Thanks for sticking around until the very end.
Good.